All right, I think this is a 50-player Africa game. We're going with, I'm pretty sure this is Algeria. I'm not sure if we cross the border into Mali. I'm also drawing a little bit of blank of part of the geography. In terms of our spawn, I really like the easily started guy right to our west. We're going to try to get through some of these pockets right before they close, because I think that would be helpful for us to try to get some weird borders. Weird borders in open front are freaking awesome. So we do get into 2 of these pockets, which is going to be good. And we're actually setting up for a nice 2 for annexation that I think is pretty safe. I'm kind of wondering if there's like a case in some of these games that you do like an earlier push. I feel like it could be. I mean, Portuguese autocracy right here. They're pretty low down. I'm actually going to do this early push because I think I can get... Yeah, I can kind of skirt this and get an early annexation, I think. Yeah. So we need to get up... Actually, debating this. So let's try to get Ugandan Queendom out of the game. I think we probably should have waited for them to push. I think that's probably a better strategy. But getting the annexation would be quite good. We're going to also try to steal the gold there. We do not get the gold on that. So let's try to get up a city. That is a big-time annexation. In terms of other annexation plays, I think our best bets are probably to the south. We ideally want to be guided by bots pushing us out. We're going to be messing up this guy's annexation. It was not the call. Like, that was not the proposite of that specific push. Easily startled. I don't know if we take your alliance. Then again, you're actually pretty dense, and I don't think we do want to fight that. I feel that's a little bit too much for us. Ideally, I think we're kind of pushing up north on some of these NPCs. We're going for another kind of like big annexation play. And some of my troops that are out, it's kind of overkill. So, alright. We're going to try to get one more of these. And I think the anonymous dude, I would like to ally him if possible. And we're going to get another city up right here. I'm not even sure I'll actually go for, what is it? That I'll go for factories, because I think I might be able to get out to the ocean pretty quickly. My pushes are a little overboard. Just a little bit. Morocco would be a good person to push. Anon. Yeah. Goose would also be a good person to push. So, how's this look? All right. So we get out this, let's get up our growth to more ideal rate, and then I think we just push Morocco. Alright, y'all, so unfortunately the audio cut out for the rest of this recording, but I still want to show you this because this was such a good game and give you some different thoughts on what I was going through in terms of kind of like thought process of the game. In terms of where I'm at right here, I'm just getting up cities. I really wanted at this point to ally the Anom Nom Nom person. I really, really didn't want to deal with them. My main goal still, though, is just to try to get to the coast. I also had, like, I don't know if it's right here. I think it's actually coming up. I had a crazy lag spike, and I think this is what we're seeing right now in the game. I might even, like, jump over this just because it's, like, so crazy. I basically could not attack for, like, I don't even know. I couldn't attack for 30 seconds that nothing registered, and then my entire attack came out as like 100%. So I might just like jump to when we're going to have the attack come through, and you'll see the absolute disaster that it was. So you can see this, that finally the attack is going on, and basically I get this push from Anom Nom, and I'm like freaking out like, oh my god, this is going to destroy the game. Because lag with recordings a real big pain. With the non-348, I think I was kind of debating whether to push him or not. And I just thought, you know what, I've got a better target with Big Poppy. Fighting multi-front war is generally a bad idea. So I go and do a big push on Poppy. I really should have done a bigger push here. I was just trying to get up a port first, I think, with that. In terms of the overall type of map dynamics, I'm pretty safe just given that I have the alliance with the anonymous person. And the kind of other thing, it's just like interesting noting how close my color is with easily startled. That's something I wish they'd fix. So now that I get out to the ocean, really what I should be doing is putting up the ports and also doing 1% boats over to Big Poppy in Portugal. Just try to snipe out his infrastructure as soon as I can. Other than this, I'm really focused on my zone, and I don't think there's much else really to kind of look at. Like, one thing I'm also noticing too is if you look at the unthinkable guy kind of in Algeria, Morocco, he's taking all of that stuff. and that can be another good target. In terms of where my troops are at, it's kind of okay. Like, I'm recording this after just doing some streaming, and it's just interesting noticing how a lot of people, how big of sends they do, and I think they're really, really relying on getting their growth curve like around the 41%, even a bit lower, because you can be really aggressive and be rewarded for that. So that's something I'm thinking about with what I need to do. So here, I guess I decide to go for the non-Ryu person. I can get a little bit of an attacker's initiative, and what I mean by that is that basically I can send out a boat, which increases my growth, because troops and boats do not count towards your growth. If you actually saw the last Open Front IO Masters, you'll see that most of the UN people, and this is actually a boat bank right here, you see I cancel that one boat going up there, and I bring it back in to give me a little bit of a boost, so I can basically store troops outside of my border. It's actually a really, really good strategy. There's definitely risks with it, with like islands and stuff like that. I think I'm now realizing, actually, I don't know if I have realized yet, that the Big Poppy guy in Spain and Iberia, that he has not been taken out yet. But I am going to get all this, which is good for me in terms of where I'm on the leaderboard. I'm sitting in 6th. And the Anom Nom guy, he's doing pretty well in 2nd place. And I'm still just like thinking about my zone. Because, I mean, the main thing in these games is to win your zone. Neon goes down, and I send a little prayer boat down to Babette. With Unthinkable right here, I can do with... There's a little bit of risk. Like, if he put out a warship right at that time, he could have shot that down. But I was willing to run that just because I felt like, you know, I can probably get away with it. And I'm putting a huge amount into him. I could probably do less because... I probably... Yeah, it's debatable. Like, my push speed's gonna be max, but I'm also, like, a little bit down on troops. And something I'm doing here that I'm, like... It's so funny that in the game when I was commentating it, I almost forgot that this other guy was right here, that Easily Startled was right next to me. So I made a horrible enemy, because if you even just look at this, like, it's so hard to tell that they're right there. And I'm focused on all this other stuff. This is one of the things with the Open Front. I feel like I'd really like if we had better UIs and stuff. And if he pushed me harder, he could have probably really messed me up and stuff. So I get fortunate and get down here. You can see I actually totally capped out my troops because I had a lot banked up in that attack. And I didn't really want to do that. I don't know how many I lost. You could probably watch it back. Oh, and Goose going down. Need to focus on that. And I'm still, like, not realizing he's this. And now I zoom in and, like, oh my god. He's right here. And it looks like he was slow. Or maybe he accidentally atom bombed me. Which is, like, total doom. He definitely had time to respond to that. But it's kind of doom. And the other thing, just with Akay here, and he's going to play a really important part of this game, I decided to just try to ally him because I feel like him having multiple kind of enclaves is just going to be really, really devastating. And I just decided, you know what, I'm going to go for Easily Startled. This was the point I was super worried about. I decided instead of sitting up and getting my growth curve a little bit better, I'm just going to try to take them out. And the Anom Nom guy, we're right at this point that the alliance is going to expire. I'm frantically checking to make sure, like, hey, are you going to renew this? Because if he's not going to renew this, it's going to be pretty bad. And I'm also looking at, like, okay, so I do have a missile silo. I was going to do, like, kind of some shock and awe and put it on the border. And this is my threat to him. I'm sending him the nuclear symbol. If he wants to push me, he is going to be bombed. And this is the doom part of the game. So I am basically sitting here waiting to push back 1 for 1. I'm really kind of sketched about offering him an alliance because I think he might be the type of person who try to push me, steal 15% of my base, and then I'm just doomed. So I just decide since he's doing out a push, I'm going to let out a push and go for him because that is safer for me. And I get a little bit of a boost, and now I'm sitting in 2nd place. And I'm still, like, at this point, I'm really cool with just calling it a day here. But he's got a lot of troops. He might have just thought, oh, this guy hates me. And given he's going and pushing other people, I'm kind of thinking, you know, he's banking up troops in these attacks. So I probably need to do something about this. Like, if I just sit here and let him just keep on, like, clearing people, I'm going to be done. So I decided to go out Hydro. I actually didn't realize in the game that he had what is it called? That he had freaking 10 mil. And what I do here is going to be his freaking downfall. You always got to be careful when you offer alliances and you send a bomb, or when you have alliance offers out, because this makes him incredibly vulnerable to other people. Right now, I'm still kind of panicked because I think he can still like totally mess up my game because he's got more troops. He can push me. I'm just worried here. I want to get out of it. It looks like he's just going to keep on going in for it. So I decided to push with the last of the traitor debuff because it's kind of like me or him. If he ever wants to get out of it with an alliance, that will be great. But I think he's kind of just like, he's totally set. I can totally get why. I've messed up a lot of his game. Getting the type of bamboozle thing of traitor when you just offer an alliance is bad. So I'm still just kind of waiting to push out 1 for 1. You see I was going to target out his missile silo. So I'm going to get up my own missile silo to push this back. He, I think at this point, I can't recall if other people were starting to target him. I'm also on the map. I'm not really focused on the other 2 people, the small PP and the Kamzi guy, because if I don't get out of this zone, I'm just doomed. Okay, so we get an alliance here, and that gives me a little bit of safety. The first thing I check is that alliance with the UN AK guy, because that's a risk that someone could push me. The other worry I have is the purple dude who has the crown boating over there, and that's why I got out that warship, just so I don't get bamboozled. And my main goal here is slowly take back irradiated land. Don't look too vulnerable. And see if I can get in this game a little bit. Like, if you look at where I am on the leaderboard, it's not good. I've taken 2 hydro hits. It's just bad. I don't have that much infrastructure. And the Anom Nom guy, he decides he despises me. I can understand why. So all I do is sponge the attack for a little bit. And now that I see that the crown is going for him, I decide I'm going to go try to take out a little bit of this. And really, this game, I'm just playing this like third party, probably even fourth party. I actually am in third place, but I'm super vulnerable. Crown looks really strong, and they don't have that many troops. And I did glance that Kamzi, they actually do have a mill, which does put them in a decent position, but actually the occupation percentage difference is a really big deal. You can see in the top left, it's 10%. And I have to do this video at some point of showing y'all that like on some maps, like 1% occupation difference can be the same as like 20 cities. That just having more troops from land can be really, really effective. So my main goal here is slowly clean up the irradiated land. Try not to look super vulnerable. Don't want to pick a fight because I can't really do anything. I think I'm warning a K here because I was kind of worried like that he was going to try to go after me. So I'm letting him know, look, if you're going to go after me, I'm going to send in a Hydra, and that's why I'm putting up that missile silo really close, because I want to get that pop damage as soon as possible. So we actually do get the renewal on that. That's good. And you can also see buggy stuff with the game. I'm sorry about the recording stuff. I really, really got to figure it out. And still here, I'm still kind of like side quest IOing. I got that little area in the Nile Delta, which is good. I can still clearing some stuff up. And I think here I finally just decide, you know, I shouldn't focus on easily startled. And it's actually going to be really important later in the game. Like, getting that one port is not going to be worth it. He can't really get back in the game. That's kind of one of the things of, like, this current version of OpenFront. And now we see movement. That small PP, they have gone for the attack. Looks like the alliance expired and Kamzi's going down. And kind of assessment in the post-game is like, I should be way, way, way more worried about this. But I was kind of debating here, like, how much time do I have in these games? Because, like, I could go for the crown, but if it's not just, like, lose or fight, I don't really want to risk myself. And I just made this probably, you could argue it's a bad call. I see Kamzi's really low on troops. I think, you know what? I know it's kind of helping the crown. I know this guy, Kamzi, is kind of down on their luck and they're being pushed. I just think maybe I can get a little more land. It will help me. You can say that that's a bad call. I don't know. It was the call I made in the moment. There's pros, cons to it. I don't think betraying the crown at this point is a good decision. But definitely burning the troops of someone who's fighting them is also not that good. But I do it, and I think actually in retrospect it is going to pay off. So I'm looking at my gold right now. I got 11 mil because I've got some of this stuff. I'm kind of hoping that the 2 UN people have enough to fight this guy, and I think that's why I put some of my cities over there, because I was still really worried about Akay with his 1.1 mil troops. In retrospect, I really should just be paying attention to the occupation percentage. Kamzi puts in 200k push into me. That's going to be pretty much doomed. UN World Bank, they're recognizing the threat of the crown. Small PP, you can see him going into Southern Africa. I'm kind of side quest IOing, putting up cities, and I don't even know if I recognize at that point. I see Kamzi goes down, Akay gets that, and now I'm really recognizing that this is doomed. With Florida Man right there, I don't know if you caught it, he's got like 8 mil in the bank that I want to get, so I want to get down some warships down that river, try to get that. And I also see that our alliance is about to expire, and given this guy is that far ahead, I don't know what he's at, he might be at 50% occupation. I'm just preparing for, like, I just gotta fight this. There's nothing to do. 41 seconds. It's kind of now or never. Akay sends the right message, like, huge props to Akay, because sending that message and being communicative gives me, like, the confidence that, okay, we do have to go for this person, and it is kind of like, in the game, I wasn't that aware. So I'm getting up 2 missile silos here. I've only got enough for 2 hydros. Ideally, putting the bombs further away from areas I'd capture is going to be key. And I'm just going to run shock and awe. It's not going to be super shock and awe because I don't have, like, it's not one of those points where you just, like, totally destroy the person. But I just got to run quick bombs on them. So all I'm doing right here is looking in the bottom right. I see Alliance expires. I put out 2 of these. This small PP guy was kind of oversending with their troops. And I've got to push right now. So I do as much damage as I can. And I do the push. And I think this is the moment. Akay makes the decision to risk themselves. And I think they're pushing right here. I think they are. And I think I do get the Florida Man's gold, which is really, really key for getting in another hit. I'm just trying to go as quick as possible with the bombs. I wasn't that keen on infrastructure. And Small PP goes insane. They do a full send here, losing most of their stuff. And I'm just going to push like crazy. Try to get out as much of this as I can and get as far into this dude as possible. Even with this, it's not necessarily even guaranteed that we're going to win. Like, you see me at 40k. I see him at 50k. And the thing I think I did after this is I was kind of looking around like, can I go try to snipe out some of these little pieces? Don't know if it's good or bad. There's probably some good things to do of, like, looking at where the infrastructure is, but in these moments, it's very clear times of the essence. The thing I checked with Small PP, I can never ally him. I check in his city count. He's at 97. Also doing in 1 more hydro because I think it's total doom. I kind of had in the back of my mind the notion of the pivot that sometimes if you push too hard on someone and they expend all their resources on you, you can let the other guy win. But not really much to do. We see another full send here. So all I'm going to do is pretty much sponge it. And it's honestly really crazy from this guy. Gonna re-ally Akay. And now I'm thinking this is the type of pivot point that the game is kind of at this point in time that, you know, we're probably gonna take out the crown. But how does that mean for what happens afterwards? I'm running into all these issues with rivers and just not being able to push on different stuff. I'm checking in the bottom left that my cap is actually at 2 mil, which is really, really good. And everything has just changed. The former crown in purple has just left. So this kind of changes calculus in a lot of ways that I'm now thinking about. How can I get the most land? Because I'm really concerned Akay actually has more land on the south. And if you actually look at his gold count, this is the type of really, really complicated part of the game. He's way closer to Merv than I am. So if I am going to get outscaled by taking stuff, and this guy's closer to Merv, it's going to be really, really doom. I still think I need to take this stuff, and what I'm hoping I can do is use some of my attacks to increase my growth, because I think most people know that attacks outside your border do not count towards your growth, and that I can use that to gain a bit of an advantage. Akay here is actually sending out probably way, way, way too many troops. Like, I don't know what their cap is. If we ever hover over them, we could probably get an idea of their city count, and that might give us some idea. We're probably a little low too, but I am really, really worried. Then again, if you look at the gold, I'm at 15 mil. They have about an 8 mil gold lead, and I'm kind of debating, I think, if I need to do shock and awe. And you see me putting up a missile silo there, still taking some of the stuff. Time is of the essence, and yeah, 10 mil difference. That probably means I gotta do something about this. So still taking all this, looking at the timer, and I decide to stop trading here because I think it's like, this is the moment. He's at 28 mil. If he gets Merv, it's game over. I think it's completely game. I'll have maybe like a couple of seconds to push back on it, but I think at this point, I've made up my mind. I have to run shock and awe. I absolutely have to go and try to hit this guy hard, especially given that he's kind of like going way down on his troops. I think he's probably thinking like, oh yeah, we've been friends, like it's going to be good. But the thing in open front that we all know, there can only be one. So I'm done with all this. I think this is going to be the max amount of troops, and I just decide I just got to go for it. He's at 32 mil. You can see him. He's actually only like, he actually has enough for Merv right here, and he went for Hydros. It actually would have been really interesting to see if he went for the Merv and what I do. So I basically do a full send right after this push on him. And I think a Merv would have been a better call. I'm kind of running into problems if you see on kind of the right side of Africa, like below Somalia, that I didn't get in there because of the rivers, which are slowing me down. And at this point, it's still just push him. Still keep on bombing him. I think with the Hydras going down, I'm pretty good. I wasn't really paying attention if there was any other Merv threat, because right now the key thing is steal as much of the base as you can. And if you get so much land, you're going to just have so much inertia that no one can do anything. So getting that big clump is really, really good. And I think at this point, we're getting like pretty much to the point where I don't think there's a point of coming back here. He's trying to bomb me. And I think, like, looking at this in retrospect, if he had done the Merv right when he got to 35 mil, and if I had waited any longer, it's like, it's completely game. Like, there is nothing to do here. And I think my game actually kind of, like, bugged out for a little bit. But, yeah, this was actually a crazy freaking game. I know that the crowd messed up, but there's a lot of really good reads in how this all went. And at this point in time, I think the only person who could probably even take me out is the easily startled dude. And actually, I didn't even notice that he got up to 31 million in the game. And for, the easily startled dude was the guy I didn't realize at the start, because he could Merv me and probably take me out. But he actually was really key because he was my trade partner, I think. Like, I think he probably gave me, like, some of this gold I was getting at this point was probably that. So at this point in time, I didn't realize he had 34 mil, but even if he did Merv me, I think with 76% occupation, really 77%, there's not really much to do. So that is the game. I decided to also ally him because really we both deserve the win here. I don't think we can really have, like, there's some things against, like, kind of like the peace vote in these games in terms of like dynamics, but I think this was a joint win because we both took the initiative to take down the crown. Couldn't have done it without him. So thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed some of this post commentary.